revolutionizing the way people treat people in business. The Experience Pros, America's home for positive business talk.
Welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show. Angel Tussey and Eric Rammer helping you, empowering you really to build your brand here on the radio. And when not on the radio, in person.
In person. Sometimes, we just talked about how do you find a talent. We talked about the value of a networking event. And I know that networking can be a nerve-wracking experience if you don't have a lot of experience doing it. Maybe you've had a bad experience doing it. Get a little nervous about walking into a room of strangers and trying to strike up conversations with them.
Right.
I felt the same way. I remember my very first networking event I was invited to. I'd never been to one before. Didn't know how to dress. Do I stash my purse, my pockets with business cards? What do I say? How do I knew nothing. And I know for many of us, we know nothing the very first time. And so starting that conversation can be a little tricky, but we have some great icebreakers that you can use to start up a conversation. And know this, that at a networking event, the fact that you go up to a stranger and start a conversation is fully expected. And it's not rude. It's not impolite to walk up to somebody and just start a conversation. That's why you're there. That's the purpose
of the event.
Yeah. So
still awkward for introverts such as myself.
Sure.
But before we get into this, you have an acronym that you refer to. It's either FORD or FROG, and I can't remember which.
A FORD or FROG?
Yeah.
When you're talking about
networking,
how to start a conversation, right? So it's FORD.
It's FORD.
Yes. Yeah.
FROG is the other one.
Yeah. What other one?
I don't know.
Why are you looking at that way?
At the camera?
Yeah.
Because I don't know what the other one is.
You just know it's the other one?
It was FORD or FROG, and now we've discovered it's FORD.
Yeah. So it is an acronym for things that you can talk about when you run out of things to talk about, or how to start a conversation, build rapport with people. And FORD, it stands for, family. Tell me about your family.
Right.
Are you married? Do you have kids? That kind of stuff. Occupation. What do you do for a living? How long have you done that? What did you do before you did this?
Right.
R is recreational. What do you like to do for fun?
Okay. All right.
And D would be for dreams and goals. What do you want to be when you grow up? What's your big vision for your business?
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Don't look at me like that. I couldn't remember what it was, but I know it's helpful. It's along these lines of this conversation.
Right. So there's an acronym, if you can remember the car, right? Ford. Then you can start and have, just again, icebreaker questions that start a conversation and allow it to bunny trail into other things. Another icebreaker could be, what brought you to this event? Who or how'd you find out about it? Did you sign up with it on Meetup? Are you in the same meetup groups as each other? Was there somebody, in particular that invited you? Maybe we know that person in common. How do we know that person in common? And you can start to, see how all, additional lines of question can come from that.
Here's another one. Do you know anyone else here tonight? To see if your fellow networker, the person that you're speaking to, is alone, or maybe they came at the invitation of somebody here. They know some people. It's always good to know some people, get connected to somebody who knows others, because they can introduce you to the group.
Right. And if they don't know it, if they did come alone, they don't know anybody else there, they get to be your event buddy.
Yep.
Right. So now you have a buddy, and you can start bringing other people into the conversation, and you don't have to feel all awkward and all alone. Here's another way that you can start the conversation. And I know somebody who does this all the time, but this one is, how long have you lived in this town? Are you, here in Denver, are you a Denver native? That's her signature question. Are you a Denver native? Because it leads to all sorts of, nope, I moved here when I was a kid, or yes, I have. And this is, these are the schools I went to. And so either direction of whether they have lived here forever or just recently moved here allows for, you can start to feel the conversation flow, can't you? Like when you talk about where you're from and where you grew up, it's a natural, it doesn't seem so forced. It doesn't seem strained, and there's a natural flow to it.
Mm-hmm. Many networking events have either a cash bar or some even an open bar. And this is a great icebreaker. I'm headed to the bar. What do you recommend? What should I get? Right.
Usually I use I'm headed to the bar to get out of a conversation, not to come back.
There is that too.
Excuse me, I'm going to go get a cocktail, or I'm going to go use the restroom, or I see somebody I know.
It is a great place for a break, right? If you need a break from the socialization or lack thereof, you say, hey, you know what? Excuse me, I'm going to go grab something to drink. But by involving them and asking, what should I get? You involve them in the conversation and get their feedback, and you learn a little something about what they like.
You absolutely do. And that's, we're building relationships, right? We're trying to build a connection, because your network is your net worth. So often we walk in and we think we're trying to create a client on the spot. And that's not the case of networking. If you create a client on the spot, then bonus. But in most cases, and you think about, do you really want 30 people walking up to you and asking you to do business with them? No, right? That would be really awkward and uncomfortable and expensive. And probably you're not really ready to make that many decisions. So why do you think you get to? It's not really the place for that. But it is a great place to establish, is there a connection? Is there a reason for us to connect and to have a continued meeting, or to take the next step? To take this meeting, you've got your calendar right on you on your phone, and you can set up that next meeting. Plus, it's usually too noisy and too loud, and there's other people. We're here to network, and we don't want to stop networking to conduct a transaction. We can always do that later. Here's another icebreaker question at a networking event, is asking what you are working on right now. And so this will almost always lead to business, a business conversation. And especially at networking, you want it to start to trail down into that business, into that business conversation. This one is really funny. I'm tired. What number coffee are you on today?
Third coffee is our favorite, right?
It is. Third cup is most favorite.
Yeah.
But it's natural for people to, get robotic and just start to feel like, okay, we're answering the same questions and we're having the same conversation. So feel free to shake it up a little bit.
Absolutely. And there you have it. Ways to break the ice and make connections at your next networking event. Thank you to Ariana O'Dell for talking points of this conversation. We will return right after the top of the hour news for hour number 2 of the Experience Pros radio show.